Hey guys, Dr. Shook here, and in this sauna session I want to talk to you about laboratory value ranges, and in particular your thyroid hormone laboratory value ranges. Okay, so when you go to your doctor and you get your blood work out for your thyroid and they say everything looks good but you still feel terrible, why is that? Why do you think it is that you still feel that way? Well, I'm going to tell you that for one thing, something's being missed. That's my opinion, and I think that something's being missed. Not that your doctors aren't trying, they are trying, but under their model, it's just not sensitive enough, and it's not expanded enough to look for some of these reasons that will cause your thyroid chemistry to break down. So one thing I want to talk about are the laboratory ranges for your blood work. So we're going to talk about the high and the low range. Okay, so with these ranges, they are based on statistics. And if you remember anything from statistics, if you took any statistics classes, that you remember that there's something called standard deviations, and there's an average, right? So if you have 100 people that go and get their blood work drawn and they look at their TSH, there's going to be like a bell-shaped curve where most people are going to crowd like right in the center. There's a curve, so it's shaped like a bell. Right at the top of that curve is where most people are grouped together, and that's going to be representative of the most common lab values. And then the further you get on the low end, you're going to get less and less people, but there's still going to be some people out there. And the further you get on the high end of the TSH, there'll be less and less people, but it's shaped like a bell. Call it a bell-shaped curve, right? So what happens is these labs, you might not know this, but because I work with people all over the country and in other countries, I see that the lab values are never the same. Very rarely are they the same, because their TSH average, for example, what they consider normal, like high and low, is based on the past 12 months average of people that have gone to the particular lab that you went to. Isn't that crazy? And then it covers 95% of people. 95%. Okay, so that's when we get into like looking at standard deviations. That means one standard deviation covers a certain percentage of people that are in that average bell curve. 2 standard deviations away covers more. 3 covers more. 4 covers more. And so it covers 95% of people that go to that lab. So that's not very sensitive. If you're comparing yourself and you want to know what's going on and you don't feel well, well, I mean, how sensitive is it to 95% of the rest of the population? It might pick something up, but by the time it does, how bad off are you, right? So here's the thing. We use more narrow laboratory ranges called functional ranges. These functional ranges come from consensus statements. They come from groups like the American Academy of Clinical Chemists that let us know what more ideal chemistry should be. Like what's going to be more normal, right? So we can compare you to healthy people, and then we can look at the lab range and compare you to like the sick range, right? And so that helps us understand, is the chemistry ideal? Is it outside of ideal? Is it shifting towards an unhealthy state possibly? Does it match with any patterns that we may want to be aware of so that we could pick up on a problem before it becomes a diagnosis? You know, what is going on with you? And let's not just look at disease ranges, right? I mean, if we can determine something earlier and it be more sensitive, let's do that. And that's what we try to do with those more narrow ranges. So I want to share with you guys the reference ranges, how they're huge at standard labs, how what we do is we look at more narrow ranges in combination with those broad ranges to give us a better clinical picture of what's going on with you, help us better understand what's happening. And that's how we can best support your health from a preventative standpoint, and then from also a standpoint where we're trying to be restorative and help you heal, because we can see problems based on more sensitivity. Okay, so anyway, I'm Dr. Shook. If you guys have any questions, let me know. If you want to know where to get started with your blood work, we have a guidebook called The 9 Tests Required to Understand Your Thyroid. Just post below and say, hey, I'd like more information on the guidebook, and we will post a link for you to the guidebook. If you're interested in a dietary program plus a lifestyle-based program that I know has worked clinically in my office, we've created a video-based program so that you can get access to a dietary program plus a lifestyle-based program. We help you. There's 10 modules. It's a 6-week-long program. We have a private Facebook support group for that. And I know it works clinically. I mean, people come into me and they've done different diets, and it's like, you know, unless you want to get a lot of testing to help us look at some of the things that could be going on related to diet, then you need to start our program, because I know clinically what it does. I know what it removes from the diet. I know what you're supposed to be doing with your lifestyle. And I know, more importantly, if it doesn't work for you, where to look next. Okay, so it's something that we know that works. So if you're interested in that program, it's called the 6-Week Hashimoto's Transformation Program. Just click below or in the comments, put, hey, I'm interested in your program, and we'll share the link with you so that you can learn more. But I appreciate you guys coming here to learn more about your health. If there's anything we can do for you, let us know. Post comments, questions, and we'll do our best to get back to you. But we're inundated with questions on a daily basis. But we still try our best to get back to everyone, if at all possible, which is not possible these days. But we're trying our best. So I appreciate you guys so much, and I hope this has been helpful. Thanks.